Hello again, welcome back everyone. LiquorHound here with you, and thank you for joining me once again for another spirit review video. Today we're going to be taking a look at, and the main reason for, was the Laphroaig Single Cask releases that I've been seeing lately. Now, when I first saw the Laphroaig Single Cask, I'm intrigued because right away, looking at the presentation, the box is beautiful, you know, but it's a box, right? We're not drinking the box. But really solid, kind of tells a little story about the classic Laphroaig profile. And this one says it was the platinum, bottled from a single cask, Platinum Barrels Select. Cask type was 2014 Pedro Ximenez Sherry, hogshead, one of 312 bottles. Cask number 807523, bottled at 119.8 proof. All right, so about a 10-year-old Laphroaig single cask, which is rare. And the bottle itself, the label almost reminds me of the old Laphroaig 15 label, right? So beautiful bottle, but of course the price point. So price point on this thing initially when I first saw it was $350. Yow, that's rough. 10-year-old whiskey, $350, even if it's an amazing PX cask. That's too much, right? Again, I'm always about price to quality ratio. It needs to be balanced. And $350, I couldn't pull the trigger on it. I kept waiting. Well, finally, I happened to see a store that, and I can't remember, it was an online store that had them on sale for $200. And I was like, okay, $200, it's worth a shot. Because again, I am self-purchasing these bottles with the help of my patrons at patreon.com/LiquorHound. If you're so inclined, please join us there for as little as $5 a month. You help keep this channel going. But I was able to purchase this bottle because of them. And so I got to taste it, and hence I'm going to go do the review. Of course, I only review things I like. I don't waste your time with things I don't like and stuff like that. Now, one of the things when I picked up this bottle, of course, I and all my buddies are saying the same thing, which is, well, how does that compare to the Cairdeas PX release that came out a couple years ago? So the stats on that one were, it's bottled at 58.9% ABV. All right, so this one is 117.8 proof versus 119.8 proof. 2 points higher for the single cask. But price point wise, this was about $89, $100 price point. And again, $350? No. $200 still. All right, but look at the color in the glass. I hope you can see that. Let me scoot that up just a little bit. The PX Cairdeas is much darker, so there's probably going to be a lot more of that PX influence compared to the single cask, which might have been a second fill cask for all we know. But let's go ahead and get to the nosing and tasting for Cairdeas. It's got the brine. It's got the impact that you're looking for from a Laphroaig. It's got the smoke. The peat here is, it's like campfire smoke, right? It's campfire right along that shoreline. You do pick up the sweetness of the PX on the nose, going into those, again, figs, and I would call, and I'm just focusing so much on that roasted characteristic of that campfire smoke, but figs and plums. I would call this one mostly that. There is a little bit of like caramelized cherries and brandied cherries. Oh, right there on the nose. Something beyond the oak. It's not quite cedar, sandalwood. It's sandalwood. And almost like a coffee element as well in here. Nutty coffee, that's going to be probably the PX sherry. But let's go ahead and give it a taste. We're going to fire it up right out the gate. Oof, it's nice. Now, we'll say this bottle has been sitting at this level for at least a year. So it's had time to breathe. I have not been gassing it because I felt like it kept getting better and better, so I've been letting it breathe. And so this one's been breathing for at least over a year, probably a year and a half, 2 years now. This one has been breathing for 3 months, about 3 months now. but this one it's much softer than it used to be. Now it's still very impactful because it does taste like a younger Laphroaig, like 8, 10, somewhere in there, because I don't think they put an age statement on this one. It just says each year they do the limited edition malt, Friends of Laphroaig, Carchus in Gaelic. It means friendship. Triple matured, first maturation, first fill, oak and ex-Bourbon. Second fill is ex-Bourbon quarter cask, and the final finish is in European oak hogshead, originally containing PX sherry. Okay. Bottled at cask strength. Yep. Okay. Yeah, no age statement. So I'm guessing this is probably going to be between 8 and 10. It's kind of what it tastes like. Again, big impact of flavor. I mean, it's great. It's a fantastic Laphroaig. It has some edges to it, right? You pick up that early, it's like that rich, sweet, kind of semi-sweet malt characteristic. Heavy on that peat. Again, campfire smoke, beach pebbles. You get that kind of sea air brine in there. Talk me into a little bit of there's a hint. It's not a lot, not like the old Colilas, but there's a little smoked fish in there. A little dried seaweed up there on the shore. You pick that up. But lots of peat. And then you get that kind of rich sweetness from the PX cask. Again, it's kind of like almost like it's like that sherry character where it's plummy, it's figgish, almost a little syrupy, right? Nutty as well. You pick that up in here. Definitely on the red spectrum. Red apples, red fruits. That clove. Pushing into the back end, you get that heavy peat laying up on top of everything. When you get to that back end, the thing that I was picking up is sandalwood on the nose. It's in there, but it's covered up by a lot. It's really covered up. A little bit of leather, like I guess a medium leather in this one. And the spices, again, we're kind of baking spices, the cinnamon, the clove. That's about it. It's not overly complex, right? It's just really good for the money. So that was fantastic. But again, there is some sharpness to this one, some edges where it feels like it's a little too punchy, a little too aggressive at times around the edges. But again, price point wise, and when you let it air out and breathe for a long time, it really kind of softens those edges where it is now. But even now, I can still feel there's still some, it's not rounded shoulder just yet. There's still a little sharpness to it. But I will say the flavor just rolls and rolls. All right, now we're going to do the 10-year-old single cask. Jumping up 2 points, 119.8. Yes. Okay. Let me see, what do they say on the box? I hadn't even read the box. Unique expression is bottled from one hand-picked cask of Laphroaig. It's our classic Laphroaig, peaty and smoky, influenced by characteristics that are special to the specific cask in which the liquid was aged, PX cask. Single cask selections give you the opportunity to taste Laphroaig with distinctive, different characteristics, a Laphroaig that will never be repeated. Interesting. Interesting. All right. Yep. It's a special group of casks with variations on flavor, aroma, and finish. Chosen in consultation with our master blender, Ron Welsh. Okay. Well, here we go. On the nose. Again, this is those Platinum Barrels Select. Oh, this is nice, though. This is, you can tell immediately when you go from this one, heavy sherry, briny, heavy smoke, edgy, to this one. This is old Laphroaig. It's very similar to older Laphroaig. Older Laphroaig, when I was talking about that old 15 with the plain white label, older Laphroaig was not smoke in your face. right? It was fruit and smoke. It was very balanced. It was sweet and soft and elegant, right? Not brutish like or punchy like it is kind of can be now. This is like that. It's sweet. Smells sweet on the nose. It smells like oh, what is that? Almost like powdered sugar. It's almost like well, it is. It's definitely has those. I was thinking almost like when you start caramelizing kettle corn, right? When it starts going in kettle corn and you get those caramelized burnt kernels in there, kind of has a little bit of that to it, at least on the nose. There is a little bit of that brine, but this one's more like just seaweed. And then as far as the fruits are concerned, this one's like sweet baked apples and plums, maybe even a little pear in with brown sugar, caramelized, cooked down. Oh, there's a little bit of mint. There's a little mint in here at the edge of the bottom edge of that glass. That's about it. Again, it's elegant but not complex, right? It's only 10 years old. Yeah. That enters and drinks like 108, 108 proof, about 11 points below what it actually is. And then the flavor kind of just it ramps up, but it ramps up super slowly, and it just lengthens the whole experience. And it goes into a very, very long, gradual reduction on the finish. The sherry is in here, but it's not like this. This is, you pick up big fruits and it's kind of syrupy in the way it hits, and then you got that, again, edgy Laphroaig with its big brine and big smoke. This one, no. This one's confectionery. Again, it almost reminds me of again, what would I call that? Funnel cake, that type thing. Yeah, I mean, it's that powdered sugar, but beautiful, beautiful malt. Very subtle swell of the spice on the mid palate. And it's mostly cinnamon and little nutmeg, a little clove. You could actually talk me into a little bit of cardamom in this one. Not overpowering, that's below all those others, right? It's just a little hint of that in there. The plums and the figs and the fruit component, where there be the brandied cherries in this one for sure, those are very, again, cooked together, so they become almost like one, right? And that's how it feels like in this glass and on the palate. It's sweet, it's rich, it's viscous. The peat smoke is so perfectly entwined. There is a little hint, and it's just a hint of like almost like a limoncello or a little lime zest, just a touch of it. Not lime, sorry, lemon. Lemon zest. But again, that kind of light brine, that seaweed tone within with that little subtle peat smoke, and it's pure peat, like you're burning peat itself. That smell. It's not like super asphalt, or sometimes they go into tar ropes. It's not like that. It's pure peat. And then it just slowly, slowly fades. Again, not the most complex, but super enjoyable. Okay. At $200, I'm okay with it. $200, I'm okay. I wish a 10-year-old would never be $200. I wish this was more like 150, but at 150, I got a feeling these would fly. At 200, they're gonna move but not fly, all right? And at 350, they should sit, is what they should do. As far as the old cartridge, it's a classic. You can share this, smoke a cigar with it, and it's gonna punch right through pretty much any of them, so it's amazing in that sense. Super enjoyable, but it's very pronounced, right? You pick up everything, and it's bang, bang, bang. And this one is more of an experience where it's soft and subtle and delicate and elegant, and it just runs. Whether or not it's worth spending your hard-earned money, that's a question you'll have to decide. But I will say these bottles were purchased with the help of my patrons over at patreon.com/LiquorHound, because as always, I self-purchase each and every bottle I review. I don't ask distilleries to send me bottles. I don't ask people to send me bottles. This is just kind of a labor of love, right? When I first started this back in, what was it, 2010? 2010, there was nobody really doing it at that time. So I wanted to kind of help others because I had already made a lot of mistakes in purchasing things. So nowadays, I still continue to do this channel. Not for any money. I'm not doing this to make money, or I don't sell anything. I'm not doing any sponsorships. I do this to help you, the consumer, make wise buying choices. And I hope I just give you straightforward reviews. They're not super complex. I don't try to overthink whiskey. I don't take notes. I just taste it, give you what I experience, and if that, jives with you and that's what you want to do, perfect, right? So anyway, consider joining us over at patreon.com/LiquorHound. I'd greatly appreciate it. For only $5 a month, you're going to get these videos 2 weeks early and ad-free, so that hopefully you can get out there before everyone else to find them. You're also going to get a complete video review library. I do bonus videos just for them at times, especially this time of year. At the end of the year, I'm going to start doing videos for them just to let them know, hey, I didn't have time to review these this year, but you need to get out there and get them before they're gone. So join us over there if you can, patreon.com/LiquorHound. But if not, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Keep leaving all those great comments. I'll get back to them just as soon as I can. Everyone have a great day, and cheers.